Good morning. It is Monday, April 12th. That's the day it is. Another week. Another beautiful week. Today's devotional is, as you saw, the title is A Changed Life Demands Change. And I want to just, this morning was interesting for me, so let me share the word and we'll get into it. The word comes out of Luke chapter 5, verses 24 through 28. And Jesus, after being confronted by the Pharisees, who were saying that he was blaspheming by forgiving people of their sins, he says, and this is him speaking to around the Pharisees and addressing them. He says, "But that you may know that the Son of Man has power on earth to forgive sins." He said to the man who was paralyzed, "I say to you, arise, take up your bed, and go to your house." Immediately he, the paralytic, rose up before them, took what he had been lying on, and departed to his own house, glorifying God. And they were all amazed, and they glorified God, and were filled with fear, saying, "We have seen strange things today." After these things he went out and saw a tax collector named Levi sitting at the tax office, and he said to him, "Follow me." So he left all, rose up, and followed him. Again, that's Luke chapter 5, verses 24 through 28. And here's the cool thing that I got out of this morning. To be honest with you, I woke in battle in the mind this morning, and just trying to understand everything that God has got going on in my life. There's a beauty in walking in a changed life. Right, you're walking where you before had a limp, or possibly even like the paralytic, you're walking where before you weren't even able to walk at all. I mean, you're taking steps, and you weren't even able to stand up. And so there's a beauty in that, but also in that is a struggle. A struggle in the fact that a changed life demands change, right? Jesus didn't tell the paralytic, "Hey, you're healed and all your sins are forgiven of you. You're going," And what would have happened had he not told the man then to take up his bed and walk back to his own house? See, everything that Jesus does, he does with intent and purpose. So let's try to figure out the purpose behind this. And I think what God was speaking to me this morning is this. If we allow ourselves to be healed by God, that is a great and beautiful thing. However, if we don't change our environment, if we don't change the circumstances of our lives, which we now have the power to do because there's been change in us, then we will eventually retreat back to mediocrity. It's a subtle thing that happens, but we don't even know it. But we will eventually start giving ground up. And if that paralytic hadn't been told and instructed and then turned around and operated in the change that Christ had given him, if he hadn't have taken up his bed, then maybe he would have stood up, glorified God, talked with all of his buddies about what a great thing had happened, talked with the other paralytics that were laying around, and then sit down and want to continue to speak with them, and before long he ends up back in the same place because he doesn't operate in this change. His muscles could atrophy. They could get weak again, and then he'd still not be able to walk. And so even though he be healed, he might still remain in a state of ineffectiveness. And I truly believe that this is what happens in a lot of our lives, a lot of Christians' lives. We get healed, we receive the healing of Christ, but we never stand up, pack up our bags, and walk back, and to get away from our environment that we've remained in for so long. And so when we do that, we don't allow our mindset to be changed. We don't walk in the newness of life. When we do that, all of a sudden, our experiences don't change, and we wonder, God, where are you in this? See, a changed life demands change. Once he tells us, it's just like, and that's why I included the little passage about Levi. Shortly after that, Jesus gets nailed by the Pharisees. They're all dogging him for going and dining with tax collectors and sinners. But, Levi, here's a tax collector, a wealthy man that's done well, that is operating according to the laws of the land and has done well financially, and Christ walks up to him and says, "Follow me," goes to his office and says, "Follow me." Now this is a beauty that Levi didn't question anything. He arose, got up, and left everything behind and walked and followed him. Now, God will allow you to return back to some of those things, but not until you have a changed perspective. So it's not that God changes our perspective and keeps us completely out of the world that we've known for so long. What he does is he wants to pull you aside, change your perspective, change your mindset, and then he'll allow you to go back in there and be an influence of change in others' lives. But until we are willing to walk in the change, we got to get up and walk. Take up all that stuff that was holding us down, that is also familiar to us, and get away from it. You know, he told the paralytic, "Arise, take up your bed, and walk back to your home." Don't sit around here anymore. Don't sit around as if you're in need of anything else, but get up and start walking in this change that I've given you. And that's what God's telling me this morning. I pray that maybe this will speak over you and maybe certain circumstances of your life. But a changed life does demand change. If not, we will eventually retreat back to our mediocrity. And that's not what Christ has in mind for us. So be blessed today. Live the life. Rally the troops. You can sign up for these via email. Either way, I pray that you guys are tremendously blessed and that you just have a wonderful day in Him, because it is a glorious day here in Tennessee. Be blessed. Have a great day.